Welcome back to our channel. If you like what you're hearing, please hit the bell and hit the like sign and subscribe. Perhaps one day we'll be able to monetize these videos, but I doubt that very much because of the number of subscriptions that we have to have. But we want to bring the message to people. A message about the truth. A message that challenges the things that we hear each and every day, not only in social media, but mainstream media, and even here. That's more and more people that are on YouTube, and they're all just looking for clicks and support from the social elite, who will make big donations to them as long as they're saying what the elite want them to say. And so we are in this age of information wars, where things are warped, things are twisted, some things are even presented in outright lies in order to get our attention, in order to create and increase division, in order to keep us working and fighting over the small things, while the house is being robbed and our children are being burned. That is the world we find ourselves in now. And every once in a while, those of us who know the truth, who are seeking the truth in love and in power, and embracing just a little bit of the truth, have to stand up and use that sword of truth to cut through the lies, the falsities, the shifty innuendo, so that we arrive at what is known as reality. Even this idea, arriving at reality, has been taken and warped and twisted to mean something that it never was meant to mean. People tell us that there is no reality and that it's not real. There's nothing real, they tell us. It's all a simulation. But when you really look deeply into that suggestion and you ask the question, the answer is hard to find. The question I'm talking about is, and what does that really mean? What value does that have in my life? How does that affect the fact that there are thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of people in this country living on the streets? And that 60% of the people are living under the poverty level or close to it, or unable to take care of their households if there's an emergency because they're living paycheck to paycheck. These are the questions that we need to ask, you see. The quote about this being a holograph or this being unreal and all of that, that's warped and twisted. It's not that it's not real. The idea is that our perception of it is not real. But the unlearned, you see, will drop that little part out of it and scream about things not being real. When we all know that if we go out there and wait for the last minute at a bus stop when the bus has been full and it starts to pull off, if we quickly jump in front of that bus, we'll discover if it's real or not, won't we? So there is reality, there is truth, there is experience, and there are the fantasies that people like to push forward and like to feel comfortable in. Everybody wants to discover something new. And sometimes people too discover things new through their thoughts, through their experiences, through the way they look at things in a different way. They can have an understanding that is nuanced and different. But to go way far out and to try to totally throw some understanding of the world out completely in order to say, I am the only one who is great, I am the only one who can see, it's part of the foolishness that is causing the pain and suffering that's taking place in our world today. this world, whether it be a holograph or hologram, or whether it be a vibration, or whether it be light, is real as long as we are living at the vibration that exists in this world. It is real. Our perception of it may not be real, but we can change our perception of it, you see. And when we leave these bodies, when we leave this place, perhaps it won't be real, because we'll be on a different vibratory plane, so we won't experience it. Just like all of the dimensions that are supposed to be floating around right now that we don't experience because they're at a different vibratory level. And I'm not talking about the fourth dimension or fifth dimension or sixth dimension, or that all sounds good and great. But I'm sure that if there's a seventh dimensional being, they are not sitting there and counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dimensions. That's something we talk about in dualistic terms, in hierarchical terms, where one thing has to be better than the other. No one has ever said that one thing is better than the other. It's different. It gives one a greater understanding of the universe as one raises from one level of understanding and one level of saying to the next. But there are those who are just as satisfied staying at a so-called lower level, who are happy, adjusted, and doing the work of healing and bringing light into the place they find themselves. We are to be the light and the truth and the way in whatever place we find ourselves. And that is the truth. And that is how it is. And wherever we bring forth light and hope and joy is the best place for us. Strange to hear that said, isn't it? Strange when so many various religions and spiritualities and now New Age movements and now the people who are combining quantum physics with their own spiritual understandings push forward, moving from this third to fourth to fifth to sixth dimension. This all sounds good, and when one is trapped in a world of dualism, I think it may be good, but in reality, when one dies to the small self, there is no third dimension. There is no fourth dimension, or fifth, or sixth, or seventh. There is only all and all. Only the light of wisdom and understanding. Only experience. Only God or Goddess. Whatever name it is. That's all that exists. In many expressions, many ways of seeing it and understanding it, through many extensions, but ultimately, it and we are all one. This is not a very popular message, though, you see. But if we can hear this message, if we can understand this message, if we can cling to this message and hold on to this message and live as a result of understanding this message, the whole world changes and we are free. Problem is that we're in a system where no one wants you to be free. So even many of the religions and spiritual practices that have been around for a long time, age after age, many of them have been shaped in order to keep us running around, but to never allow us to reach that place of freedom, of awakening, of merging with divinity. They stop before we get there. There are a lot of esoteric traditions, secret societies, and things like that that will push us forward in order to reach that understanding and that blending with the divine, but they are not available to everyone, only seekers who go out and seek them and join such esoteric communities, the ones that are often demonized by the Christian church, and now some far-right people and people on the left accusing them of covertly trying to destroy the world. Even this is a way of trying to block us from becoming awake and becoming free. So, out of all of this, I hope that people pick up at least one message. And that message is that if we are in a world that is built on a pyramid model with a group of people who are at the top, who are supposed to be greater or closer to God, and then with other layers of people going in a descending motion, and this pyramid is supported in order to keep things the way they are. If this is the case, everything that's in the system is built or constructed in order to keep us locked in the system. And whatever doesn't is demeaned or thrown out or destroyed. And so remember, as you watch the YouTube videos, as you listen to the radio, as you watch mainstream TV, as you're listening to some of these preachers and teachers and all these people all over the place, if they are not careful, they have been steeped in some tradition that does exactly what this system is designed to do. To keep us captive, dependent on those who are above us, and to keep us asleep, partially awake enough to grow a following for them, but otherwise still struggling with the thing that we should have put away from ourselves years and years ago. Thanks for being with us. We hope you enjoy the video. Please hit the subscribe button if you like what you're hearing, and share it with other people. Hit the bell so you know when we put up a new video. Give us a like sign and make some comments. We hope to be dropping videos over and over again on this YouTube channel, and probably in the future we'll be putting them on Rumble too, because sometimes videos get censored. Thank you again. Namaste. May your day be beautiful, and may you be as wonderful as your thoughts.